starting?
Yeah, that's what we just did.
Ripper.
Exactly what we did.
Welcome to KG5 for this round 11 clash between the Hobart Zebras and Devonports Strikers. It's a beautiful day for football and an intriguing matchup this one. The Zebras in somewhat of a free fall, it has to be said, just one win from their last 6 games up against the team that once again has just snuck under the radar all the way up to the top of the table. They are flying, the Devonports Strikers. They try and maintain that today. It should be a cracking match kicking off in a few minutes here. Joining me to talk our way through it's Paul Hunt and Jake Morgan. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Very good afternoon, Andrew Cooling. It's a pleasure to be here as always. Beautiful day for football, which is stark contrast to the last few times I've been here. It's been either wet, windy or all of the above. It's a beautiful day out here. As you say, Devonport looking to solidify top spot, especially with Olympia's win last night, just putting the pressure on them as we have a look at that table. Zebras probably even need the 3 points even more. They're just starting to slip away from that in that top 4. It's now rapidly becoming a top 3 and slipping into what I like to call the Everton zone, just in between, not quite the top 6, but not quite the bottom 12.
That's fair. That's fair.
You've got to let that one go, Cooling. I think.
I've got nothing to retort to that.
But I'm excited today for a very good reason, because look who is starting for Devonport.
Well,
today.
we'll get to that momentarily. We'll keep the viewers in
Keep the
suspense,
lids
but I
on that.
suspect
Keep
they
the
might have an
suspense.
inkling. We'll go to the home side first, the Hobart Zebras, and take a look at their starting lineup. And we'll have that for you in just a second. It's Zebras lineup with a few new faces in there. Chris Downs has departed overseas. That's going to be a massive blow for the Zebras. Their set-piece maestro gone for the rest of the season. That's a big blow. No Dwayne Walsh either, or Adam Mcewan. So it's a bit of a makeshift 11. Jack Gates will get a start probably on the left wing. Callan Griffin has come in and played some pretty good football in midfield. The pillar at the back, Nick Grunwald, probably the player of the season so far this year. He'll be there for them. That remains a key. Jaden Hay played on the wing last week. Will he be there or at fullback? We'll wait and see. Luke Hughesloop presumably in the midfield. Imran Lewis partnering Grunwald in defence. Marcelo Mercury will be between the sticks. Geordie Muller in the midfield. Matthew Pace, another one I'm not entirely sure where he'll slot in. Could be fullback or a midfield role for him, probably the midfield. Matty Sanders will undoubtedly be up top doing his thing,
Colonel.
the big colonel. And Luke Warner will slide in at left back. And
It's an omen, boys.
Morgs has just brought his KFC to the game and just chomping at the bit for the colonel in more ways than one, it would suspect. Ackley, Brooks, Kadisha and Reid on the bench. So certainly a few players missing from that Zebras lineup. As we take a look now at the Devonport Strikers, and familiarity throughout that lineup, and there he is, number 12, as was alluded to. The King is getting a start today. Christopher McKenna.
This match was worth watching already before that, but now even more so. I mean, the King is not only just on the bench, starting. Maybe that's the influence of Coach Chris Gallo being overseas, and Nick Owens just decided I'm putting the King in. He knows what the people wants, that man.
Well, either that or Nico is not actually number 2, and the King himself has assumed that role. I'm just going, well, you're out of town, Gallo. I'm just going to insert myself into this starting lineup. But the rest of the team, Henry Andrews having a fine year in midfield, a very talented young player, as is Eddie Bidwell. What a revelation he's been at right back.
My man.
Tyler Fisher now. I'm looking forward to this Fisher versus Grunwald duel. Arguably the top 2 players in the league this season. They're going head-to-head. That should be a cracking matchup. The former Grand Rapids players really looking forward to that battle. Michael Holden is in barnstorming form at the moment. He's been tearing everyone apart. Zebras going to have to watch out for him. Liam not getting a first start of the season, so some youth being injected. The Dance brothers are both absent today, so an opportunity for the youngster, and indeed the veteran Chris McKenna, the other one coming in. So the real 2 extremes there. Braden Mann in between those two. He's dropped into a midfield role this year and has been superb. Lindsay Millington will get another start. He's been pretty good up top in recent weeks. Raphael Reynolds, a force at the back. The import
He's
with
been marvellous, hasn't he, Cooling?
Dom Smith and Zykos, and that is a very young bench with Argent, Ford and Wicks. Gentlemen, what are you expecting from this one?
I think that Zebras really need to win this one, and having the benefit of the home ground, I'm going to be going with 2-1 to the Zebs.
Well, that's...
Big Looky Hooksloot is going to have a field day, I reckon.
You reckon? Well, I mean, I'm going to go the complete opposite. I'm going to say a 3-1 victory to the Devonports Strikers. I think they've got... Well, Zebras have plenty to play for. Devonport will be as eager to get that 3 points on the board as Zebras. I think they've got a fantastic lineup, and that attacking area of the Strikers with Braden Mann, Tyler Fisher, Lindsay Millington's been in great form this year, as we've alluded to. So I think, as well as Grunwald, I think may win that one-on-one setup. I just think overall Devonport have just got a great attacking lineup, but I think it's going to be a fantastic game here today. So we see the pleasantries begin out in the field. Braden Mann, I think given the call there as the away team, but not quite sure what instructions to deliver. I think they're going to stay on their respective sides. But yeah, a fantastic match awaiting us here today with two, well, I'd say temporary, I don't want to say temporary coaches, but we've obviously got Chris Gallo away, I believe, in Cardiff doing his A licence, and Tommy Fotak filling in the rest of the season after sacking of the coach, and getting word before the match, both former Tasmanian teammates from back in the 90s, so there'll be no love lost there between the two coaches today. So we see there is actually a switch of sides here, so nearly ready here at KGV for this big match today.
It is a very big match, isn't it? What do you think the key battles are going to be today? The Paul Hunt front?
I certainly think Reynolds versus Hughes-Sloot, especially from corners, and if Zebras continue to play a more direct style, obviously Sanders being that point man, and then the other end, as a good man Goulding alluded to, Grunwald v Fisher is going to be an absolutely fantastic matchup. And just looking at the Zebras have started up, I think Jaden Hayes
on the wing.
Yeah, going to be left wing.
I think he'll be pretty happy about that.
I think he will be.
Played a bit out at left back this season, so Jaden Hay is going to be quite excited today and looking to get on the end of a few, I reckon.
Yeah, he's starting a bit centrally, in fact, Hay there. Gates out wide, so perhaps he's playing that midfield role he occupied. And interestingly, for the Strikers, Lindsay Millington has moved back to defence. That's where he started the season before being played as a striker in recent weeks. But he's
can
back
wrap his boot around it.
He's come in there with Dance out, and he'll fill that role. He's Braden Mann in a little pocket of space away from him. And there is Jaden Hay, perhaps going to fill the Chris Downs role in midfield from here on out. It's a big role to fill. Obviously, set-piece delivery has been outstanding this year, and a big blow as Bidwell steers that one away from Gates, who scored an absolute cracker against the Strikers when he was at the Lions earlier this season. Just took off from about halfway in his own half and went the length and chipped the keeper. It was delightful stuff. And they'll need a big game out of him today. Grunwald barking the orders at the back for Zebras, who really need to bounce back today. They've gone through a difficult last month or so. They've started dropping points. They're knocked out of the cup. Downs is gone, Sapple's gone, no Walsh or Mcewan. It's a real backs to the walls type set up for them today, and they need to respond against a side really displaying as well as anyone at the moment in the Strikers, as the Kings' first involvement is a steer it in the Andrews direction. Now Saviv at the back, across to Geordie Muller, just to get his head up. And he'll send it wide. Zebra's just looking to control a little bit here. Hughes the target of the Griffin pass. Sanders in there, but Raph Reynolds just classy on the ball and sees it away from him.
Really like this position that Jack Gates is taking up on the far side at the moment. Getting really close to the touchline. Eddie Bidwell might need to watch out on the threat of him today. To see Grunwald get over the ball, and he tries to play it out wide, but he's chopped down cynically after playing the ball, and the Zebras will have their first free kick of the game, I think.
Yeah, certainly, and I'm very impressed as well. The lineup Zebras are put in position. Jaden Hayes got a lot to prove in the centre of the park as Griffin whips the ball into the back post. Comfortably claimed there from Zykos in the direction of that man Jack Gates, as you were just alluding to, Jake Morgan. It's going to be a fascinating battle down that side, and especially with Hay playing, I guess, very centrally to link up with the with Warrener and Gates. It's going to be very interesting down this near side here.
Yeah, I think Bidwell might have his hands full in defence today, and we know that he's a wing-back that likes to get up and down the pitch, so might find himself a bit pent back by Jack Gates here today, who's looking to stay wide on him.
And that's a nice through ball there from the Colonel. Jack Gates in on goal. Zykos comes out, looks to chip the keeper, but Zykos stays just high enough.
He's tried to
Makes the
replicate that goal he scored against the last time that I was just talking about. He sorted on in there and gone, I've done this to you before, Zykos. Here comes the chip, and I think the keeper was ready for it this time.
I think he's clearly been watching back at a few previous matches there. But a good first shot on target from Gates. You see the King on the ball looking forward, but Griffin can cut that one out
Credit to
quite easily.
Marcelo Mercury there, because he's pulled off actually quite a decent save by not going down too early.
Zykos.
My mistake, sorry.
As we see that just slightly overhit there for Matthew Pace out on the wing. And yeah, Lindsay Millington on the ball in defence. I thought he was a defender originally by trade, especially when he was playing down south here for Knights, and then that move up top to striker for Devonport actually seemed to work well, but I guess this is more his natural position as Griffin slides in. Ball played forward to the King, looking out wide, but again Griffin there to cut that out. Muller touches it wide to Pace, who just sends it back to Sir Vivian. Got plenty of time and space, especially on this left-hand side. There's not really much help here down here for Bidwell at the moment, and Warrener can just saunter forward. Got options short and long. Still going is Warrener, and looking to play that through ball to Gates, who does it again, but ref Reynolds comes across. Zykos clears.
He copped that fair in the face just then too, Warrener. It was quite a brave little first touch there when you think about it. You just see the Zebras trying to get onto the ball again through Jaden Hay, who plays it outside to Gates. Harassed by Bidwell, looks to run with him, takes it wider towards the touchline. But just a poor touch there really, and Bidwell gets to sneak in and get away with the ball. Plays it up to the King of Devonport. Little return to Bidwell, but Hay just jumping in there and intercepting quite quickly for the Zebras.
See the throw-in taken from Bidwell. Made sure, but good pressure there from Gates. It's only probably been Zebras most of this first 5 minutes. Devonport just haven't had the chance to get on the ball and settle yet. You see that left a bit short for Bidwell, and Gates picks that up. Looking central in direction of Sanders. It's a nice ball, but again, Zykos fully aware of what's happening and coming out to claim rather effectively as Millington shown inside. Plays it short. And just a nothing ball really out wide and given away rather cheaply there from Devonport.
Not able to really keep a hold of the ball at the moment, the Strikers in this one. They've been a little bit uncertain with their passing, and the Zebras doing a good job getting their positioning right and breaking up the play as Imran Lewis looks to switch things up and makes Warrener just track a little bit. Gates staying very tight to the touchline here, looking like that's a clear instruction from Fotak as Hay drives this one out to the other flank in the Griffin direction. Did well.
And I think it is a really wise tactic to push the wide man up, just as we'll see the Zebras get a cross in here actually. Looks to Gates. Bidwell doesn't deal with it. Gates settles onto it. Warrener plays it in, attempting for Hoogsloot, and Sanders could be in here. Not dealt with again.
It's a very rare error from Ralph Reynolds there. He's usually a picture of composure at the back. Wasn't that time. Griffin swinging a dangerous ball in the Hoogsloot direction. Made it tough for Zykos, who did really well to palm that one away in the end. And now Andrews leads the breakout to Braden Mann, the Strikers skipper, in the middle of KG5. And it goes now to Turtle Holden, who looks to surge through the middle of his pass. Can't find a way to Fisher because Lewis was there. And they back to Marcelo Mercury, pressured by the King.
Seems like every time I try to pull out a bit of tactical analysis, the game gets very exciting again. New curse of the commentator in a sense, but no, I do think that Gates has been ordered to stay out wide for these types of balls, as we're just seeing again, because when you're playing a 5 at the back system like Devonport do, or 3, you can really, really drive that wing back and negate their forward influence, certainly bringing a tangible element to the old statement that the best offence can be the best defence.
Yeah, and it'd certainly be interesting not to diminish the talents of Gates or Pace, but especially if Dwayne Walsh and Sunday McCune, probably their 2 first-choice wingers, were actually fit today. It'd be a very interesting battle against that. Back 5 at Devonport as we see Bidwell on the ball, looking back inside in the direction of man who has it, brings it out to Turtle Holden, who streams forward and has a shot. Just gone out for a goal kick.
No real power behind that shot from Turtle Holden, but getting into threatening areas as we've been accustomed to seeing from him throughout this year.
He certainly likes to bomb on, does Turtle Holden, as we see Marcelo Mercury taking the goal kick. In the direction of Warren up. Nice chest control there, looking for Sanders, who gets there in front of Reynolds. Lays it out wide to Gates. Tries the cheeky back heel, but deflected off the Devonport defender for a corner and quickly taken with Hughesloot streaming through the middle, and again Zykos reading that well. Looking to build up again through Andrews. Just hasn't really got too many options going forward, so just looking to play it back. Again, easily pressured off the ball there from Warren as Bidwell, and out for a throw in.
Interesting that Sanders and Hughesloot seem to have reversed roles a little bit from recent weeks. Sanders has been the one dropping a little bit deeper as they work it wide to Jack Gates, who turns back onto the non-preferred. Centering ball favours only Braden Mann. He sends it right down the guts to Tyler Fisher, who's bursted in behind here. He's one-on-one with Lewis, looking to get on that left foot. Jinx to the right and fires, but Mercury had his post well covered there. They took him wide, and the keeper does well to cover the angle.
You have to say that is really good work from the two centre-backs for the Hobart Zebras too, Sir Vivian Imran Lewis and Nicholas Grunwald, because they were very tight to him and didn't allow him an inch of space. Well defended. Yeah,
great bit of work in assessing your opponent as well, knowing that he's got a very strong left foot, so just pushing him onto the right. All occasions, the King just whips out a lovely turn and through ball there. Unfortunately, straight to Marcelo Mercury.
I think it's a regal through ball.
Oh, yes, very well done. We see Luke Warrener on the left wing again. Hughesloot looking to play it to Gates, but well defended from Bidwell. Warrener certainly bombing on in that, as Jaden Hay used to, in that left back position as well. Hasn't quite got the length to throw in that Hay does, but gets a great bit of hustle on the ball. Looks wide for pace, and just a bit of a heavy touch, but Millington seeks the touch line. It's a bit of a slip there from the Devonport defender, letting in pace. Over-hit the heads of Gates if Warrener can keep this in, which he does. He's got time to measure the cross. He's going in there with Hughesloot rising high, and Raph Reynolds just getting enough on that. But again, a good opportunity from Zebras and nice attacking play.
Looks like Liam Knott still limping about over there, and I'm not quite sure if it's that he's actually hurt himself when he slipped over or a little bit of embarrassment on his part, but certainly let in the Zebras there, and really dangerous moments for a second for Devonport.
Not an area where you want to slip over, as Fisher is tripped up there by Jordan Muller, and the angler going down gets a free kick in a good area. Braden Mann, look at him hunting the ball like a hawk here. Good to me, he says. He'll fancy himself, and Grunwald's just an area where you want to slip over, as Fisher is tripped up. I think he'll be the one fancying a shot here. Holden can lurk all he likes. He's going to pull rank on him.
Tell you what, I'll be excited if he belts this.
It'll be a fair hit. He's quite a distance from goal, but Braden Mann has certainly shown down the years.
Going to curl it or put the laces through it?
I think he'll probably opt to go with the laces from this range. It's certainly a dangerous man from the free kick. Man goes and skies it horribly over the top. And bang average that from Braden.
Yeah, Cooling-esque, really.
Well, you've not seen me over a dead ball, buddy. It'd be far worse than that. No rush here. Mercury could take his kick, and no real threat to the goal there from Braden Mann.
It's actually made it to the top cricket nets. He's skied it one that much, Braden Mann. It's quite the effort.
Just making the ball, the match manager, work a little bit. So Hughesloot again is the furthest one forward here. And the goal kick is going to make him track back for it, and just turns and lofts it over the top now. Pace looking to get him behind here on the left. Going at the youngster Bidwell. Had some support from Andrews, got across well. Chips it down the line for McKenna. He's headed a man, lays it out in front of Turtle Holden. They're looking to break here. Here goes the first time ball over the top for Tyler Fisher. Is he onside? He'll track it down, and the flag is raised. So that will kill that. Did seem to have just strayed a yard there, the angler.
Yeah, good decision from the linesman, and in a very good spot too, as we'd like to see from our officials.
And Lewis and Grunwald, very good communication there from the centre backs. As you see, Muller on the ball, lays it into Hugh Slute's feet, who knocks it out to Hay. Again, Luke Warrener and acres of space down here on this left-hand side. Reynolds cuts out the through ball. Hay for company, passes it to Smith. Back inside to Andrews, muscled off the ball from behind from Hay, and it's a clear foul, and that'll just relieve the pressure on Devonport momentarily. Zykos, we're going to give instructions everyone to push forward, and I reckon this is going to look for the head of the big king up top, who's ending up on Grunwald, which will be a fascinating battle. Look at that, the king wins that in front of Lewis, but not anticipating that was Tyler Fisher. Griffin just plays it back to the keeper, and Zebras will reset. Not too much of a high press going on here from Devonport, just letting the fullbacks of Zebras have the ball. As we see, Warrener lays it out wide to Pace. Jinx inside, nicely done, but good cover defence there from Andrews.
He's done that quite a lot today, hasn't he? And Bidwell's needed the support because they're really looking to get the overlap going on in the Zebras.
Absolutely, you can tell the Zebras really must have had hug touchline written down in their team notes, because that's pretty much what they've done out here wide.
Alphabet soup for breakfast.
Yep.
Hard to the touchline.
You see Muller picking up the ball under pressure from Turtle Holden. Plays it back to Griffin. Griffin looking forward, but right down the throat of Zykos. Millington brings the ball out for Devonport. Not too many options calling for it. Aims for the king, but doesn't get anywhere near as far. See Gates rampaging down the right wing. Got pace at the back post, but looks to play short to Hugh Slute, and Reynolds picks that one out for a throw in.
Interesting, Gates has switched flanks already here. Maybe just looking to get it not a youngster in his first start here. Gator run at Bidwell early on, and he and Andrews dealt with him pretty well, but something we see the Strikers do reasonably often, just switch up the wingers. Jordan Muller picks it up. The stripy horses back to Griffin. Back there to Saviv. And he goes back to Geordie Muller, who's going to have plenty of work to do in the middle today, with Hugh Slute playing that more advanced role, more of a 4-4-2, and Hugh Slute flicks this one first time for pace to try and track down up against Bidwell. He drives towards the byline, and it's just eluded him. And kicks that one away in frustration. Just ran out of real estate there, did young Pace. A number of players making a rare start today. A few changes for both sides.
It was a beautiful flick through to him from Hoogslute, wasn't it?
He excels at that, Looky Hoogslute. And going to be very important for them today, especially with Walsh and Mcewan out. The goal scoring threat that they carry does mean that the likes of Sanders and Hoogslute need to be all the more important. As
I'd be imagining that Mcewan will be turning up here tomorrow.
Oh, that could be the case. Could be the case. Zykos skews that one horribly. Fortunately for him, straight to Dom Smith.
That's one for the highlights reel.
I'm sure it'll make the cut.
That's an absolute shank.
Well, not punished for it. It was a good little fake pass to the other centre back, I'll call it.
Yeah, just playing it out from the back. As we see Turtle Holden on the ball, playing it to Andrews. Wide in the direction of Knott. A lot of players forward, Devonport. Probably the most they've had all match, but Andrews can't seem to find any, as we see Braden Mann dropping short. Lindsay Millington now on the ball. Everyone for Zebras appears to have gone in there attacking half and then not really offered any options. As we see, finally played through. Again, a bit of a wasted opportunity for Devonport. They had plenty of time and space there to craft something, and just ended up rushing it a bit, as we see Grunwald running out with it down this left-hand side. Got a few different options. Finds Sanders in the middle, and Pace just plays off the shoulder of Bidwell. Goes to nutmeg the keeper, who's offside anyway. I think the referee's going to play advantage. just certainly the left shoulder was offside. Not sure about the right, but
I don't think his shot was on target anyway. Looking at the angle there. I reckon a pretty good decision was made by the linesman.
Been good today, the linesman.
And on top of things is Smith is down at the moment. Nick Allen in charge of the Strikers today, just barking out the orders. A relative of yours, I believe, Funty.
yeah, this one will amuse all of our interstate viewers, but funnily enough, he's my cousin. So, you know, I'm sure everyone in Melbourne and Sydney think we're all cousins here, but I assure you it's only one of two, of which...
Well, you're my dad, Paul.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you don't know about us here at Slice of Cheese. As we say, Dom Smith and Bidwell on the ball, yeah. Unfortunately, Nick Allen's a Liverpool supporter, so, you know, well, he's family. I can't like him too much. We see Pace on the ball. Nice touch inside there to Hughes Flute, but well cut out from Braden Mann tracking back. Again, cut out, and Grunwald will restart. Gives it to Sir Vivian, who plays it out wide to Cal Griffin. Will be a central midfielder, Cal Griffin, or a striker, but playing out at right back here today for Zebras, and that's a strong hit to the head of Warren. Not sure how he was meant to control that.
Did him no favours whatsoever.
Absolutely none.
All right. Supply Bidwell into the rangy Andrews. We'll just sold the King a little bit short there, allowed Grunwald to get on the ball, and he's just charged straight into Bidwell. And the free kick has been blown. The Zebras' best.
I think he was looking to try and get a body check there, but he's just full on giving him the bit of Carl Douglas there. Bit of kung fu fighting, really.
Yeah, he's kicked the ball one direction, then run the other direction into a fairly defenceless player. So no wonder that was given a foul. As Braden Mann,
The King is down.
The King is down.
Oh.
Game should be suspended if the King's down, and he's
he's
down
struck.
again. I don't think he's in a good way. Is the King?
He's
Ball's played out. No one really in the general area of him, which usually isn't a good sign.
He's just hit the deck.
That is not a good sign when you see a player immediately get to their feet and go down again.
He's trying to soldier on, but he's struggling to put weight on that there. The King, I think his day might just be done. His reign is not going to be a long one, it would seem. And that's a big blow for the Devonports Strikers. They're already a little bit undermanned, just a few on the bench today, and they're going to have a look at Argent Ford, or I suspect Harrison Wicks would probably be the one who we'd see. Probably the more like for alike in positional sense. Certainly not in their style. Wicks very much low, likes the ball, his feet, and looks to run with it. He's a more mobile attacker than the big target man that the King is. But
I mean, I guess you could play a little bit less, more direct. I know that's, I guess, more of a preferred style for away teams. But you could have some very good mobility with Mann, Fisher and Wicks up front. And that's, yeah, not a good sign there for the King.
his day looks done. Harrison Wicks looks like he will be introduced.
Definitely Harrison Wicks.
McCowan barking out the instructions there to him. So a big blow after 20 minutes here. Not something we like to see.
And
it was absolutely chuffed to see
the
him
quality
lineup.
It's a testament to the quality of the King that he's walking off here too. And it was a testament to his quality that he attempted to get up straight away after being crunched, because he's not the sort of man to spend any time lying on the ground unless it is absolutely necessary.
So that's not scenes our typical viewers would like to be seeing. As he's helped off there, and good to see the Zebras physios getting involved there. Good work as resume with the Zebras throwing. I presume they'll just throw it back to the Strikers. We'll have a few minutes of added time. Formalities observed, and back to Dom Smith. The game can resume, and certainly a bit of a lull in proceedings, and a real energy sapping moment.
It was. Yeah. I was up and about to see him banging a hat-trick today. And
we were all excited up here in the Slice of Cheese commentary box when we got handed the team sheet, and it's quite disappointing the rains only lasted 20 minutes.
A glorious rain it was, though.
Probably some of the best 20 minutes we've seen all year. So we see Grunwald searching out wide for Cal Griffin. That's a wonderful crossfield pass, and Griffin A lot of time and space. Tries to go inside to Sanders, but just overhit. The Strikers can look to break through Braden Mann. Tyler Fisher on this side, 1v1 with Imran Lewis. Gets onto that left foot, shoots, and right at Mercury. But he's got to make that save, and a nice strong hand out for a corner there. Probably the first chance we've seen Fisher have.
Yeah, for the Strikers really. Even just really got some nice power behind that, didn't he? But Mercury's in a very good spot there really to just tap that one away.
Yeah, showing the power of Tyler Fisher's left foot there.
Yeah, perhaps a little bit more mobility up the front now for the Strikers, which could stretch the Zebras if they keep trying to dominate this game, as it's curled in. Oh, nobody really getting on the end of it, but what a glorious ball that was from Raf Reynolds, just to that far post, but seemed like everyone had conglomerated around the middle and the near post.
Yeah, maybe the one-hand signal is the idea for near post, and everyone's gone back for it. It's sailed over the head of Mercury, and tell you what, that's actually really good defence from Sanders there. If he doesn't put that block in, Henry Andrews has probably got a tap in from 6 yards out.
Of course, their victory came through a Raf Reynolds corner last week. Just putting it on the Sconnor Brader man who did the rest. A late salvo in that one, 87th minute, to send them at top of the table. And he's a very complete player, Reynolds. He's composed at the back.
I think we're having a look at the two best centre-backs in the league here today, aren't we? In probably Grunwald and Raf Reynolds.
Yeah, I think if you were picking team of the year right now, there'd be a starting pair. They've been outstanding. They've brought plenty to the lead, the league even, as has Tyler Fisher as Hugh Sloot. Just lets it run, Reynolds for company, and worried him out of it a little. He just let the long legs of Hugh Sloot back in though, and now he's off towards goal. He fires one on the left, it's blocked away. Coming in after it was the Colonel. Now Geordie Miller gets on the ball. He's got plenty of space to operate, but 8 bodies behind the ball. A block of 5 and a block of 3 for the Strikers. It's going to be hard to penetrate. Griffin to Jaden Hay. Swings it into Hugh Sloot, who couldn't quite direct the header on target.
Yeah, lovely through ball there to Hugh Sloot. Found Hugh Sloot with a couple of metres of space right in the centre of the park. Just see that chip through ball. He'd split the two centre backs there, and just a little bit too much pace on it. Good chance there for Zebras. You see Zykos taking the goal kick. It's good distance on it, but right to the head of Geordie Muller. Knocks it down to Sanders. Plays it wide to Cal Griffin. Plenty of space out there. Just looking forward. A couple of options inside. Finds one in Hugh Sloot, who goes to play it back to Hay, and the counter is on. Tyler Fisher finds Harrison Wicks, who's looking for Fisher again, but Fisher's clearly making the run inside, and Wicks has just completely overhit that to no man's land. And
yeah, really not quite on the wavelength there, the two Devonport forwards. Expect better things from them, because if he'd have played that along the deck, every chance that Fisher can take a touch and get himself in for a shot at goal.
Yeah, maybe he didn't want to put Fisher on his right foot. That's about the only thing I can think of as to why you'd play that ball. But we see Lewis just looking to build up from the back, passes it to Muller. Slow pace.
Just seen the switch back here from the Zebras wingers. There's a poor ball from Serviv across. He's well saved by Gates, and Warrener gets on his bike, but comfortably cut out by Devonport. So Andrews and Bidwell combine. Now Millington, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right there. As James Hay wins the ball, and Jordan Muller in the centre of the park just holds off Braden Mann well. Hay again in the centre of the park, and Cal Griffin has it out wide. Hugh Sloot, certainly a directive that whenever Hugh Sloot gets on the ball, that's a great through ball to Jack Gates. Get there before the keeper, but Zykos cuts out that centering ball. Probably the Devonport Strikers centre back would have got there ahead of Sanders, but a very good save nonetheless from Zykos. See Devonport looking to play out again from the back with Millington. Now seeing the wing backs of Devonport push on when they are in attack. It's just they haven't been in attack very much this game. As we see the ball played all the way back to the keeper. And Lewis should be able to turn. Good pressure there from Harrison Wicks.
And that's exactly what we were flagging in the beginning, isn't it? It's been really hard for these Devonport wing packs to get forward and get any kind of overload on this quality Zebras defence. So
Yeah.
we're really seeing the game play out in that manner, but they're not quite having the cutting edge to get the breakthrough here, the Zebras.
I don't want to accuse Devonport of, but they've certainly come here in a defensive mindset. I haven't seen so many 5-3-2 formations in the NPL this year.
I think it's exacerbated a bit by how little they've had the ball today, because you always tend to see those three-man defences become 5 when you don't have the ball. But yeah, Bidwell's really having a lot of trouble here today from Gates. As
Nice
Hoops
bowling.
loose. Oh! Surely
beaten there.
wrapped his foot around that, and it's nearly belted into the near top corner. What an amazing shot here from Luke Hoogsley. Just out of nowhere. Look at that.
The skipping and the keeper has just left it. He's very lucky. Even nervously watching that. That's final moments as it clattered into the
Tell you
crossbars.
what,
It
you
dipped there.
almost think if he was another metre out, that is a goal.
It was a good hit and a great build-up from Jack Gates too, who is looking very lively. He's switched back onto this flank, but certainly having his best moments as a Zebras player is Jack Gates. He's got the opportunity with the injuries and can really cement a place in this lineup. Huxley wins the header away from Braden Mann, who's been dropping deeper and deeper. Such has been the way the game's gone. Wicks the target here, but the cult hero of Devonport can't get on it, and Grunwald just takes it away. Now Luke Warrener looking to charge forward here, sends it down the flank for Gates again. Bidwell marking him tightly. Brings it to a standstill, back to Warrener. He's got a couple in the box to pick out. One of them is pace, and probably should have gone with the head in the end. Tried to bring it down, couldn't quite. Tyler Fisher the outlet here. Lewis so tight to him, but just worked off him nicely there by Fisher, although the ref hasn't spotted it and is blown the other way. So Fisher's good work unrewarded.
Certain that would be a Devonport throw in there. I'm sure Fisher hit that off Lewis's shin pad there.
Now, boys, let's not get too stuck into our officials. I'm sure he had a better view of it than us.
No, it was straight off Lewis, not having it. They do a great job, but that was straight off Lewis.
I mean, he is probably a good 100 yards closer to the ball than we are here, but nonetheless. Not one for sitting on the fence here in the Slice of Cheese commentary box.
Yeah, you think you got the eyesight of Eagles. Don't know about it, boys. I'm back in the official.
Yeah, well, I'm the one with glasses, so I'm not. You're not going to get much eyesight chirp out of me. So we see Harrison Wicks played forward to Tyler Fisher. Back to Wicks. Actually leaves it there for Knott. The most attacking I've seen Knott. He actually makes it to the byline, crosses it in. Grunwald
One for the Creek, is it?
clears that. I think that's gone.
No.
It's actually settled on the fence of the neighbour. It's gone over the creek. Now, that's quite an impressive clearance there from Nick Grunwald.
What was the official creek name again?
Humphreys Rivulet.
Could have come up with something better than that.
Yeah, you find that when you study Tasmanian history. There's a lot better things that could be named better. That's one thing I've learned at uni this year. So you see Turtle Alden just peg it in a general forward direction, but Grunwald wins that rather easily. Reynolds went wide to Smith. Nice chest from Grunwald. Surely we'll look for Hughesloot. That's a great ball. Hughesloot to run onto it. Great covering defence from Raph Reynolds. Hughesloot will get there over Millington, but Josh cleans it up. But let's just
brilliant football all round, isn't it, Funty? Because the ball through from Grunwald was just marvellous. The way that Hughesloot just gathered it was marvellous. And then the challenge from Raph Reynolds was absolutely marvellous too. Oh, we're just seeing Devonport getting behind for Eddie Bidwell. Looks for Harrison Wicks. Not dealt with again as it falls for Tyler Fisher. Oh, and a couple of saves there.
Yeah, it's a very good piece of attacking play from Devonport, and eventually Tyler Fisher just hits a rather weak shot into the ground, which Mercury could fizz up. But I feel like if he just put his boot through that Tyler Fisher and kept it down, I wouldn't want to be in the way of it if I was one of the Zebras on the line.
They did really well to get 3 bodies back on the line, though, the Zebras, but certainly just lacking conviction. The shot from the angler. He's normally a much better finisher than that, Tyler Fisher, but just didn't make the contact he was after. And a reprieve there. Yeah. Devonport's best moment, although they're coming at them again here. The cross sent in from Knott in the Wicks direction. Beaten to the ball, well defended in the end, but the Strikers, you get the sense, just growing into this game a little.
And this is what we need to see more of from Eddie Bidwell, really pushing up when they don't have the ball. It's a poor cross this time, but he's really going to need to do that when they do have the ball, rather, to try and stretch this Zebras defence, because Gates has given him problems all day.
And that's actually while it's not an ideal cross, it's actually not too bad a shot, as that's gone right into the eyes. The sun is right in the eyes of the keeper there, so slight possibility
it's doubtful that he was intending to chip the keeper there.
Yeah, I don't think it was his intention, but it's not too bad an outcome as we see Warren up. Chested onto Gates, plays a nice 1-2 with Warren up. Now against the centre backs, he's got Smith to beat. Looks to go around him with his pace. Doesn't quite get there, and it's good defence there from Smith, much to the complaints from the Zebras bench down below us here. I don't think there was much in that. Say Millington. The ball again plays it to Raph Reynolds. Plenty of space down this right-hand side at the moment for the Strikers, with Eddie Bidwell pushing on. Finds Andrews in the middle. Again, Turtle Holden now with a fair bit of space, and Jaden Hay and Muller not sure who to take. That's a poor ball forward. Sanders will clean that up.
He's looked quite good today when running at the opposition, Turtle Holden, but he's really lacked the final ball there today, and it's something that's typified him over the last probably few weeks, I would say. His final balls have been quite good, but not quite getting on the end of it today, Turtle Holden.
Yeah, I agree, and certainly with this new centre midfield pairing, just with 3 central midfielders for Devonport, just not quite sure how to take that overload in the centre of the park, so we may see Turtle Holden with a few more opportunities as game goes on, as we see Jaden Hay straight out wide to Luke Warren up, who once again has got an absolute paddock to run into, and just fires it right at Andrews from about 3 inches away. Calls for handball. Not sure what you want the man to do in that situation.
Chop off his hands.
Yeah.
It's hit him 3 yards out in front of his own body. Very ambitious goal.
Hicked it with his laces right at his chest.
That would be a harsh one, I'd have thought.
No way you could give that. You see Cal Griffin now with the time and space out there, and Bill Holden just pressing him inside, and Hughesley going for the flick. Anyone really in the areas. Hay picks it up. Reynolds in the back of Sanders, and free kick given. Usually this would be Chris Downs' territory, but with him leaving for overseas,
Grunwald.
it seems Grunwald has picked the ball up and said, I'm having this.
Well, he can do everything else on a football field. Let's see if he can smack in a free kick from 30 yards.
Yeah, why not?
The Chicago kid. Yeah, he's really done everything else. Matty Sanders also lurking, but Grunwald certainly looks the most likely to wrap his foot through this one. What's he got in his locker? Sanders is just going to sneak into the wall for him. So big Grunwald steps up and curls it straight into Tyler Fisher. And Braden Mann thumps it direct right down the middle. Wicks up against 2. He tried to worry Lewis out of it, but he was very composed and retreated back to Mercury. Bit of an up and under there. Gave it to Fisher. His header can pick out Eddie Bidwell, who stormed forward on the counter-attack. He looks to get to the byline. Sliding in was Warren up, and surprised he didn't opt for a corner there. Bidwell decided to try and take on Warren up, and was ill-advised to do so. Zebras recover it. Hughesley just turns and shields Andrews from it. Back to Jack Gates, who's looking to run at Dom Smith here. Gates charging into the box. Raph Reynolds read the situation, got across to cover very nicely. Carried out of defence. Although Bidwell's just left it behind there.
He's probably been the best player on the pitch today, Raph Reynolds. For me, he's absolutely dealt with everything that's come his way, probably apart from that little crossfield pass he was attempting then.
There's some commentators' curse from you there, Jake.
That's it. But no, he's been pretty extraordinary today and dealt with everything that's come his way. Certainly remember the Hoogsloot chance from the Grunwald ball earlier on. Raph Reynolds was absolutely all over that. Started as a defensive midfielder, I believe, if that's correct, Cooling, and he's been converted this year.
He's playing in the middle before the change in formation. That's rather late from him, though.
Probably deserves a slice.
See a little slice of cheddar for him, or he's going to get the import treatment. And just gets looked after there. I
I hope that's not a policy of FFT, mate.
We look after our imports here in Tasmania. We can get rid of, get away with slide tackles from behind, nowhere near the ball like that one there.
It's a cheat.
He's very lucky to escape without a
there was
slice for that.
It's an aged cheddar too.
I'm pretty sure there was a yellow like that given last week around the commentary box, I think on Lucas Hill up at South Hobart, for pretty much the exact same challenge as that. So very lucky to get away with one there, Reynolds.
How did Lucas Hill stay on?
I was wondering that after the match yesterday. Oh, last week, sorry.
Of course, Olympia 3-2 winners last night, the first game of the NPL. For round 11, as Muller just goes with a little pitching wedge in the Hugh Sloot direction. Millington away from him, and then Braden Man clears the area to Harrison Wicks. Fisher, quick release, overlapping Bidwell. Didn't go at it though, and Warren will just escort it out of play.
Yeah, good idea with the pitching wedge, especially given the tall timber of Zebras, but you're going to get a little more purchase on it. So we'll see Warren He's been getting some long throw lessons from Jaden Hay this week, but didn't quite fall from as Andrews picks it up to Wicks. That's a nice challenge from Goodwell. Griffin now in pace out wide, but doesn't look there. Looks for the through ball between three players and doesn't quite get it. Barnstorming run from Fisher, looks out wide. In the direction of Turtle Holden, who shoots and scores. Turtle Holden. Well, on the break, Devonports Strikers haven't had too much of it this match, but on the 40th minute, we see Tyler Fisher go bang.
Oh, it's the ladder leaders doing what they do best. They hit you on the break, and Tyler Fisher with some class to pick out Holden, who made no mistake, runs into the box and buries it. It was made by Fisher. He got his head up, surged in here, drew a couple of defenders, and slides it through perfectly. Griffin just caught out there by Holden. And a very tidy finish from one of the form players of the league right now.
Very tidy finish. I think that's gone through the legs of Marcelo Mercury, which I don't think he'll be too happy about. That's great counter-attacking play.
Tell you what, that finish was tidier than having a professional cleaning service through your house. It was just marvellous.
Yeah, nothing left to chance there. So see Devonport go up 1-0. See what the Zebras respond with. They've had the majority of possession this match, but fantastic rearguard effort for him. That's a poor ball from Lewis. Plays it straight to Braden Man. It's 3v2 here. Plays it out wide to Fisher, who shoots again, but Mercury saves that one again. Griffin thumps it clear in the direction of Hugh Sloot. Just got their tails up a bit here, Devonport. Hugh Sloot does well to win the throw-in out wide. So they look a bit shell-shocked here, Zebras. Not really an urgency to keep going. Any pace here as we see Griffin take the throw in direction of Sanders. Shields well. Straight out to Griffin, who's going to look to play that cross in. It's ended up at Hugh Sloot's feet. Plays it back to Sanders on the volley. Deflected out for a corner. Certainly got some purchase on that one, did the Colonel.
Yeah, it set up quite nicely for him, didn't it? And he's quite happy to take that on the volley here. Half volley, rather.
Yeah, it's good technique. Really over that one.
And this is where they'll certainly carry a big threat, the Zebras, and we know that because it is the big man, number 13, Looky Hoogsloot. Probably the biggest corner threat in Tasmania, I dare say, this bloke. Very rangy fellow with a big jump and certainly times it very well. Taking up a position on the far post and
See
Colonel
that battle
Sanders.
with Grunwald and Reynolds as the ball's whipped in direction of Hugh Sloot. Will it drop here for Gates? He just can't get over it. And certainly Reynolds lining up on Grunwald was a fairly good matchup there as well, but kind of got in the way, and maybe if Hugh Sloot.
That is classic goalkeeper work right there from Zykos. He's had the ball underarm to him from the crowd, and it's just bounced off his open hand.
Love it.
Take a few seconds there, young lad.
Yeah, clearly the Zebras fans behind the goal there in the wet area. Just trying to get the game on quickly, but smart work there. And very good spot from you, Jake Morgans. We see a nice through ball played through. Wicks gets the other side of Grunwald, and Mercury eventually picks that one up.
Grunwald. That shielding play there is why we consider him to be one of the best centre-backs in Tasmania.
Yeah, I'd like to see the dream team of Grunwald and Reynolds set up next to each other. It'd be very formidable as we see Gates down the left wing. There's a Devonport player who's taken a tumble in the box and then falls right to his feet. Raph Reynolds, he can do it all, as we see Turtle Holden just digging inside of Jaden Hay. That's a bit of a shirt pull there from Jaden Hay. About 50 yards away up here in the grandstand. It's obvious he didn't like it.
He was trying to grab a souvenir. His man punches this one forward. And
half time's 3 minutes away, Jaden Hay.
This one will be picked up by Marcelo Mercury. Can the Zebras find something before the break here? Get themselves back on terms. Devonport will be delighted. Dead in the sheds. They go to the good. They've sat back, absorbed a bit of pressure, done it well. Hit them the other way as Reynolds gets into a little bit of trouble. Just got to be careful when Hughes loots there with the 25-metre circumference of his legs. And yeah, you learn that lesson, Raph Reynolds. But, it's been an interesting first 45 minutes here. Perhaps not played at the furious tempo the first meeting between these sides was back at Valley Road in the opening round of the season. But it's been an interesting tactical battle, this one so far. Millington carries out. It wasn't Knott's best work, just left it behind, and the Zebras get back on it. Griffin to Hay. Slides it through for the Colonel. Andrews doing a really good job just disrupt him. Chip ball for Gates. It's the cross in the Hughes salute direction. They just got dealt with a little unceremoniously by Millington there. And some of his feet, as we'll have another look at that one. Just got in there, and I don't think there's too much in it.
Certainly a few shrieks from the crowd.
Not the most partisan view from the KG5 brigade out here, it has to be said. In Zebra land as Muller finds Hughes loop, back to Muller. Now Jack Gates, who's been lively throughout this first half. He's been their most likely avenue. So ref just gets in touch and a perfect
Good
little
touch.
ball back to Muller. Now Hay, he's got Griffin in a bit of space. Chips it in, but Reynolds is there to head away. Braden Mann tracking this one, got there ahead of Muller. Took it wide and then punches it along in the Fisher direction, just lets it run over the top for Wicks. Harrison Wicks in a pocket of space. Big Grunwald up against him though. What's the youngster got? He goes for the chip to the back post. And perhaps was just a little worried by Grunwald's presence and just tried to get it out of there and before he had a target to pick out. It's the best work there by young Wicksy.
Well, as we get into stoppage time here, I think that's Devonport's only fan on the far side there. Person in a blue scarf.
I think they've got one to your left here, Paul Hunt.
I'm not the one related to the, the coach.
Like that lone figure on the far side there. Best way to watch football, just in your own world.
Yeah, stoic.
Not quite as hardy as the one out in the in front of the stand the other week in the driving rain. See, Andrews pick up the ball. Devonport just looking to play it out to the full-time whistle. Good pressure on the keeper here, and he'll just smash that clear in the direction of Bidwell, but cleared by Warren. We'll have a couple of minutes of added time here for that injury to the King earlier, so not quite the end of the half. As we see, Andrews just slipped as he kicks it, and Griffin picks it up, just keeps it in, does well, plays it to Pace, who I haven't seen much of in the last 15 minutes. Acres of space here for Eddie Bidwell. Gates realising he couldn't track his play up. Nice little interchange of passes there. Braden Mann on it. Turtle Holden ducks inside Jaden Hay with the covering defence. Gets there just in time. See Hughes, Sloot and Sanders 2v5, so looking to play it back to Pace. Jaden Hay and looks in the direction of Gates. We'll keep that in just yet, but no, not quite. So, very happy the Zebras crowd down by the Zebras bench there. Plenty of protests.
I was half of the mind that he'd get that in, I think.
Yeah, so was I.
Just probably not getting wide enough there, you'd have to say, Gates, and let it get away from him.
The Grunwald just barking out and said if you start wide in the first place, you won't have that problem. Probably some good advice there. And something perhaps got away a little bit from as the half wore on. And that half is brought to an end here by the referee's whistle. A goal to nil to the visitors. The ladder leading Devonports Strikers 1-0 ahead. It's been a reasonably even half in terms of chances, but as it wore on, Devonport just started to create a few more, and Turtle Holden has them a goal to the good at the break.
Yeah, and he certainly had a pretty good game there, Turtle Holden, especially after that first half of the half, as you could say, because it was quite a clinical finish on the near side of Mercury for that goal, so to give him a fair bit of credit for it. And you have to say, Fisherman too has been very threatening up the front, and the threats for the Zebras have probably more come from the big man Hoogsloot and Gates out wide, but they haven't really manufactured too much despite dominating the game.
Yeah, I certainly agree with that. Gates has been their most promising prospect out here on the left-hand side, but even while we don't like to see injuries, the addition of Wicks has certainly made Devonport's front line more mobile, and that possibly contributed to their goal.
Yes, it's been a factor. I think the Zebras need to find a way to get the Colonel more involved. He's such a key man for him. He's the type of player who won't do a lot, and then if he gets a chance, he'll put it away. But they've just got to find a way to get him more involved in the play, because he hasn't seen a lot of it. And in the absence of Mcewan and Walsh, they need someone like him to step up. At the other end, Tyler Fisher has been dynamic. He's made plenty of defenders miss. He's making things happen, and he's got an assist on the goal. We'll leave you with the highlights from that first 45 minutes, and we'll be back shortly for the second half of action live from KG5. Do stay with us.
It's Turtle Holden who streams forward and has a shot. He's gone out for a goal kick. They look for Sanders, who gets there in front of Reynolds. Plays it out wide to Gates. Tries the cheeky back heel, but deflected. Off the Devonport defender for a corner, and quickly taken with Hughes streaming through the middle, and again Zykos reading that well.
Braden man, he sends it right down the guts to Tyler Fisher, who's bursted in behind here. He's one-on-one with Lewis, looking to get on that left foot. Jinx to the right and fires, but Mercury had his post well covered there. They took it
He can keep this in, which he does. He's got time to measure the cross. In there with Hughes rising high, and Raph Reynolds just getting enough.
Dangerous moments for a second for Devonport.
Not the area where you want to slip over, as Fisher is tripped up there by Jordan Muller, and the angler going down. It's certainly a dangerous man from the free kick. Man goes and skies it horribly over the top, and bang average that from
A for company, passes it to Smith. Back inside to Andrews, muscled off the ball from behind from Hay, and it's a...
Flicks this one first time for pace to try and track down up against Bidwell. He drives towards the byline, and it's just eluded him. And could be the case. Could be the case. Zykos skews that one horribly. Fortunately for him, straight to Dom Smith.
A few different options. Finds Sanders in the middle, and Pace just plays off the shoulder of Bidwell. Goes to nutmeg the keeper, who's offside anyway. Certainly the left shoulder was offside. Not sure about the right, but...
I don't think his shot was on target anyway, looking at the angle there. I reckon a pretty good decision. Was made right. We'll just sold the king a little bit short there, allowed Grunwald to get on the ball, and he's just charged straight into Bidwell. And the free kick has been blown.
Fisher on this side, 1v1 with Imran Lewis. Gets onto that left foot, shoots, and right at Mercury. He's got to make that save. And
Strikers, which could stretch the Zebras if they keep trying to dominate this game, as it's curled in. Oh, nobody really getting on the end of it, but what a...
Let the long legs of Hughes loop back in, though, and now he's off towards goal. He fires one on the left. It's blocked away. Coming in after it was the Colonel. Now, Geordie will be hard to penetrate. Griffin to Jaden Hay. Swings it into Hughes who couldn't quite direct the header on target.
He directed it whenever Hughes gets on the ball. That's a great through ball to Jack Yates. Get there before the keeper, but... Zykos cuts out that centering ball.
But yeah, Bidwell's really having a lot of trouble here today from Gates. As
nice
Hoops
oh! Surely probably a good 100 yards closer to the ball than we are here, but nonetheless. Not one for sitting on the fence here in the Slice of Cheese commentary box. See, not he actually makes it to the byline, crosses it in. Grunwald.
One for the creek, is it?
Clears that. I think that's gone. It's actually settled. Nice chest from Grunwald. Surely we'll look for Hughes. That's a great ball. Hughes to run onto it. Great covering defence from Raph Reynolds. Hugh Sloot will get there over Millington, but
that's
Cyclops cleans it up.
Behind for Eddie Bidwell. Looks for Harrison Wicks. Not dealt with again as it falls for Tyler Fisher. Oh, and a couple of saves there. And this is what we need to see more of from Eddie Bidwell, really pushing up when they don't have the ball. It's a poor cross this time, but he's really...
Oh, to Luke Warrener, who once again has got an absolute paddock to run into. He just fires it right at Andrews from about 3 inches away. Cole's actually going for the flick. No one really in the areas. Hay picks it up. Reynolds in the back of Sanders and free kick given.
Sanders is just going to sneak into the wall for him. So big Grunwald steps up and curls it straight into Tyler Fisher. Runner Tom Smith here. Gates charging into the box. Raph Reynolds read the situation, got across to cover very nicely. Carried out of defence. Although Bidwell's just left.
Correct calling, and he's been converted this year.
He's playing in the middle before the change in formation. That's rather late from him.
Looks for the through ball between 3 players and doesn't quite get it. Barnstorming run from Fisher, looks out wide. In the direction of Turtle Holden, who shoots and scores. Turtle Holden. Well, on the break, Devonports Strikers haven't had too much of it this match, but on the 40th minute, we see Tyler Fisher go bang.
Oh, it's the ladder leaders doing what they
And it's 3v2 here. Plays it out wide to Fisher, who shoots again, but Mercury saves that one again. Griffin, straight out to Griffin, who's going to look to play that cross in. It's ended up at Hugh Sloot's feet. Plays it back to Sanders on the volley. Deflected out for
on the far post, and
see
Colonel
that battle
Sanders.
with Grunwald and Reynolds as the ball's whipped in direction of Hugh Sloot. Will it drop here for Gates? He just can't get over it. And certainly Reynolds lining up on a very good spot from you, Jake Morgans. We see a nice through ball played through. Wicks gets the other side of Grunwald, and Mercury eventually picks that one up. Set up next to each other. It'll be very formidable as we see Gates down the left wing. There's a Devonport player who's taking a tumble in the box and then falls right to his...
Really good job just disrupting chip ball for Gates. It's the cross in the Hugh Sloot direction. It just got Wicks in a pocket of space. Big Grunwald up against him though. What's the youngster got? He goes for the chip to the back post. And perhaps was just a little worried by Grunwald's presence.
Keep that in just yet, but no, not quite. So
Welcome back to KG5 for the second half here. The Devonports Strikers, the league leading Devonports Strikers, a goal to the good And the Zebras have had 15 minutes in the sheds. A bit of a talk through things and trying to figure out a way back into this one. And you have to say, it was the first half that didn't really thrill or excite, didn't hit too many great heights, but the Strikers grabbing their goal and have defended pretty well, but certainly you don't get the sense that this is one-way traffic or that Devonport's job is done. Zebras have created a couple of chances and were really a coat of paint away from taking the lead themselves with Huxley cracked the crossbar.
Yeah, and he's really carried a threat for them today, Huxley, as you'd expect, but yeah, it's really been that final ball that's been lacking a little bit for the Zebras today. Certainly seem to be missing a player by the name of Downs, I would suggest, at this point of the game, because yeah, the set-piece delivery hasn't quite been bang on for the Zebras like it often is, but you have to give credit to the way that Devonport defended really well throughout the early stages of that first half, and then the manner in which they were able to challenge on the counter as well.
I certainly think Devonport's formation and structure at the back has been excellent today, especially in the first 25 minutes when Zebras had probably 75% of the possession. Through ball between three players. And
have a look at that goal they did score. Tyler Fisher bursting through. Releases Turtle home and the blink of an eye, it's in the back of the net.
It's just a lovely finish, isn't it?
That's the way they roll the Strikers. They don't need so many looks, they don't need too much of the ball. They hit you with speed and they hit hard. And those two, Fisher and Holden, are carrying them a long way in attack this year. Raider Man dropping back into that midfield role and just threats from everywhere. But Fisher again with a fine moment to inspire his side. And they're 1-0 ahead as we prepare to start the second half here of a sun-soaked KG5. Really is a lovely day for football out here.
Almost think I was on the eastern shore.
You could be deceived into thinking that, yes. With a day like this, the first of 3 NPL games coming back to back today. Up the highway, the Northern Derby, the next one to kick off. High stakes in that one, Sydney and Rangers. And then I'm sure it's going to be a lovely cold eastern shore this evening when Clarence hosts South Hobart at the Junjun. But this one still with plenty of life in it yet. 45 minutes for the Zebras to try and resurrect their season, really. And the Strikers, they want to just shore up top spot with another 3 points here today, heading into a weekend off for both sides next week with the Cup finals.
Yeah, and I think they'll probably both be a little bit disappointed about that because it wasn't really the Cup showing that they wanted for either club this year, particularly Devonport after leading so comfortably against Knights and letting it slip.
Yeah, absolutely. And Devonport, obviously knowing the experience that the FA Cup can bring and everything that, all the positives that come with it, would have been looking to get back in there. But alas, the Olympia and Knights here next Monday. Let's hope for the same weather. As we see a nice little through ball played, but ultimately cut out by Grunwald, who's just trying to play it out a bit, and that's good pressure. Nothing ball there. Grunwald just going to be a little too cute and playing out from the back there.
Yeah, Fisher did a really good job to steal the ball from him when he took him on, but the final ball was really quite lacking, and it's been a bit disappointing, really.
As we see, the goal scorer Turtle holding on the ball. Both Devonport players staying on side, but not really making a run in that direction. So Grunwald keeping it in. Bring it back to the keeper. Just on the rest of those NPL matches, there should be a ban on 6:30 Saturday night games at Wentworth Park. That is a freezing cold destination in winter.
Look, some will say Damien Gill left for greener pastures to AFL Tasmania because he had a great job opportunity. I say it was actually because of the fixturing like that, but we had to get rid of him.
Yep, look, all
the best if you're listening, Gilly.
Yeah, I completely concur with that.
No, it's certainly prefer to avoid those ones, I reckon. The 6:30s at Wentworth. There's a couple of them, though. And I reckon Clarence will be the ones who enjoy it. There's not too many teams who want to go travel over there and play in those conditions.
And I certainly know Beachside don't mind a 6:30 Saturday night game down at the Tropicana at Sandown Park. That's another night destination where the home team really has an advantage. So see Sanders going to play the ball forward. He's got some pace just. Look, he was in some space and saw the keeper off his line. He got there first, but just
rushed himself, really, didn't he?
Yeah,
he just rushed the shot right there when he could have just guided it over the top of him. So probably one of the Zebras' best chances, really. It almost hope that you'd finish that one most of the time when the keeper gets themselves utterly stranded like Zykos did then.
Yeah, it's I didn't actually quite realise how much time and space he had there as he was running right in the direction of the pole that's in front of us here at the KGV grandstand. So as we see Hay pick the ball up, nice little bit of skill there. Plays it out wide to the Colonel, looking inside again for Hay. Exclude ends up with it, looks to turn. Raise it back to Sanders, who goes thumping. Oh, it's not too far away. Zykos he would claim he had that covered, but he was pretty flat-footed there. It was a good shot from Sanders.
Don't know that the keeper would have had any chance with that one if it was on target. A lovely zinging effort there from Colonel Sanders.
He's just tried to bend that with the left foot in the far corner, and just see a stoppage here for reasons
Perhaps
unknown.
took the ball when it was still moving there, Zykos, and the linesman's been a bit pedantic.
Yeah, the linesman certainly pulled him up for something there, but play will now continue. Long ball looking for Fisher, but Grunwald should have that one covered.
Possibly a hair offside there, Fisher, which explains why he didn't continue on the run. See Geordie Muller get onto the ball and look to Warrener, who tries to play it forward to Hoogsloop, but just absolutely bossed there by Raph Reynolds, and they recover possession quickly, Devonport. Fisher taps it across to what looks like Wicks and tries to play through Braden Mann. Comfortably dealt with by Griffin. The Zebras will just recycle their possession and try and get it going again. So it's lumped forward there. Tries to get it outside to Gates, and he's competed well with Bidwell today. Looks like he can just get around him and probably earn the Zebras a corner just there, so well done by Jack Gates.
Yeah, he's seen that as a crucial pad-up one. We didn't really anticipate too much in the pre-game, but it's certainly been the dominant individual battle so far this game, and I'd probably suggest Gates has had the wood over Bidwell so far.
Just shaving it perhaps, yeah.
Not something we've seen too often this year. Bidwell having his colours lowered at all. He's been one of the best fullbacks in the competition this season, but a corner chance now for Zebras, who've started this half brightly. It's curled in, away from Grunwald by Reynolds, who's going to get there first. Zebras do. Gates drives it with the left and then hits the deck. Lack of end product there, but the strikers
tepid.
See it away. But, they've certainly started brightly in these opening 5 minutes, the Zebs. They've had the first 3 chances of the second half. They've come out of the sheds with some good intensity, and Millington with a suspect back pass here, and the 213's Julie Hicks looked wanted to foul for a bit of shirt grabbing, and I've got to say, did look like Reynolds had just grabbed a little bit of him there. He's got away with it.
And it's expert central defence there from Reynolds. He did every trick in the book there just to help his teammate Millington get out of the trouble there. Well, he's keeping very short, as we say. Griffin, nice ball inside to pace, but just overruns it slightly. Braden Mann trying to turn away from Jaden Hay, eventually does, and plays a lovely ball out wide. 3v2 at the front here. I think Fisher's strayed slightly offside, and he has got the wrong side of Imran Lewis there. And that was a good call there from the assistant referee. See Hay looking to the direction of pace. Again, he's got him behind Millington, but good covering defence out for the corner.
Yeah, not quite enough pace from pace there, though.
Great ball from Jaden Hay, playing in that central role today. A raking ball and just spun the wrong direction, really. If that had been the wrong one rather than the leg spinner, he might have been in there pace.
And if it actually wasn't as nice a day and it was those sort of wet conditions where it would have skidded on a bit, that would have been an absolute perfect through ball. We see Sanders in the corner kick, aims into the middle there. Zykos gets a hand to it. Eventually cleared out, and Geordie Muller should pick it up.
Probably a pretty crucial intervention there too from Raph Reynolds to just get a boot in and tip it away from a few Zebras players that were lurking. I think Geordie Muller's too keen to take this throw potentially. What are they going to do? Reef it into the box just here maybe with the big long throw to lap style.
Well, it's the first time I think I've seen Jaden Hay take the throw in so far. He just plays it to the Grunwald, who doesn't really do anything with it. Mostly it's just thumped forward with Wicks to chase it. So Vivian Imran Lewis picks it up, but not really cleared that effectively. Straight to Braden Mann, who one of the better players on the pitch so far. Plays it out to Turtle Holden. Duck inside. Plays a nice 1-2 with Braden Mann, and goes for the delicate chip through ball.
Not intent, just delayed, and then got rid of it, but just overhit in the end. It was interesting there a moment ago. Lewis just ball coming his direction mid tying of the shoelace. He realised he had to get up, cleared it, and then straight back to the shoelace. He was almost caught out there with his head down. Just noticed he needed to get back in position.
Not the wisest time for tying the shoelace there. Maybe someone like now would have been a good time.
Ah, you don't want to trip over though, do you?
No, well, that's true.
Cal Griffin just sliding in alongside the two centre backs. There was marking Fisher closely, just trying to be that extra defender. Going to track Bidwell. Eventually Reynolds will take his kick here. Plenty of targets to pick out for the Banana Slugs. And sent to the back post. Away by Jaden Hay. Fisher was lurking. He's still lurking. He'll get the ball now. And that was pretty ordinary for him there. Just caught in two minds and then opting to shoot. Put it horribly, horribly wide. Not what we've become accustomed to seeing from the expert angler. And a substitution in the offing for the Zebras, it would seem.
Yeah, I was thinking about a substitution earlier, thinking Teddy Kadisha might come on just for a bit of pace to run at the fullbacks, but that's certainly not the case. We got
Wilson Brooks is going to replace Imran Lewis, so can only assume that's injury related. I don't think you'd be hooking Imran Lewis if he was fully fit.
No, I don't think, especially when there's no game next weekend, so you're not sort of preserving anyone for following week. No noticeable injury from Lewis, so it's an interesting move there.
Jaden Hay almost looking like he's playing centre back.
Yeah, he's played there before, Jaden. He's quite successfully. Huxley wins a flick on away by Reynolds, so yeah, probably the most likely candidate to slot back in there. And shoot a roll alongside big Grunwald, who's
real utility man.
Here. Oh, he can play anywhere, hey. Full-back, centre-back, central midfield on the wing.
Strike.
Been to his detriment, perhaps, in recent seasons, his versatility. He's able to really be played in that one position consistently because he's so useful. When you get an injury, you can just kind of plug him in there. So it's probably seen him play in some positions he might not like to be playing in, but he's certainly a very accomplished footballer, and I think he won't miss a beat sliding in alongside Grunwald there, as that one just lands on top of the fence and comes back down perfectly.
You could not do that if you tried to hit the top of that.
You could try all day and it wouldn't happen.
I mean, that is crossbar challenge of the highest order up there. Great comments, but no, I do agree with what you were saying, calling about Jaden Hay. I originally, he was a centre back. So see that ball played in, nice flick from pace. Nice block as well, but eventually falls out wide. Great man, perfect touch there. Should play Wicks in, who just had to hold his run a bit so he wasn't offside. Had a wonderful touch from Braden Mann. Silky
stuff from Braden Mann. Exactly what we've come to expect from him.
I see A-League players who can't perform touch like that. Good on him.
The Colonel has run a long way to be ignored there. I'm not sure he'll be impressed with that. Muller flicks it on. And the new man Brooks. Holden pressing him. Here is the Colonel now in the bullseye. Goes back to Geordie Muller. Now Warrener looks to get his head up and charge forward. He's got Gates on the outside instead. Ronald essentially looking for Huxley, who was never going to get that one. And Andrews just turns out of trouble, heads to the sideline. He's shut off there, and now Gates looking to get forwards. Turns back nicely, buys himself a little bit of space. Brooks, the new man on, tries to make an immediate impact. He was shut down by Turtle Holden though. Braden Mann dwelling on it, waiting for some support. Not a lot of movement out there, it has to be said, from the Strikers. And he's done really well there to win the free kick, as Young Knott. Didn't have a lot on in front of him, and just held, and then drew the foul.
You see on the replays, hasn't really got anyone within 30 yards of him. He's got two players on him and ends up winning the foul off Cal Griffin. Just continue to slow the pace down, which is what Devonport is after this afternoon. Still just surprised Zebras haven't played more through Matty Sanders, especially with the skill of the play. I'm just surprised they haven't, switched him up with Huxley to play him up top as number 9, or just tried something different. You see Reynolds Whips the ball in, should be cleared by the first defender. Eventually out of the way there from a combination of Griffin and pace. See Reynolds back on the ball. Nice touch again. Braden Mann again. Not avoids the slide tackle and then just muscled out of it from Cal Griffin. Between Jaden and Hay, they should clear the ball. And eventually, and Reynolds saying whatever good a touch you can do, Braden Mann, I can do just as well. Pick that out of the air. You see Smith. Out wide in direction. Nice storming run from the fullback there. He's clattered between two players. Got to give that one a free kick. Yeah, a little bit of argy-bargy about who should get the ball over here. Grunwald just holding on to it for a fair while. Not wanting to give it back. It's a nice run there from Eddie Bidwell.
They're just really struggling to create anything here, the Zebras, aren't they?
Yeah, that's what I mean. They just got to try something different. Replacing your centre back with someone, Wilson Brooks, who I'm not too familiar with. Assuming it's a young player who's come through the Zebras setup. It's not really the attacking substitution you need when 1-0 down at home with so much on the line.
Yeah, season, you'd say, probably on the line here if they drop this one. It'd be a long way off the pace. They need a response as Reynolds sends it down the line. The cross will now come in near post. Grunwald all over that and belts it into the creek.
Another one for Humphrey.
Yeah. One for his collection. I noticed the ball that Grunwald cleared's gone from between the fence paling. Hopefully collected by the match manager rather than a lucky local.
Probably the lucky local, I'd say.
Probably right there.
Opportunistic bunch.
Yeah, well, just get a trolley from the local shopping centre and wheel it down that walking track and fill your trolley some days. You see a good battle between Muller and Andrews. Muller winning out on this occasion. Lays it forward to Sanders. Immediately crowded out from Turtle Holden. In fairness, he didn't really have too many options going forward, did Sanders. Best throw-in I've ever seen. See Hughes slewed out to Sanders. Turnbull looking for Gates, but well cut out from that man again, Reynolds. Certainly been the best player on the park for mine today. Muller will clear that one. It's really been the Raph Reynolds show here today.
He's just looked in complete control at the back, as he so often has for the Strikers this season. Young Dance going out of the back three. Millington slotting in there, but hasn't changed things so much.
Actually hasn't really been noticeable. I mean, that, given that Millington hasn't played much defence at all this year, it's really, you wouldn't know that.
Cromwell was fouled about 3 times there, but still managed to get the ball off. Reynolds chops this one off. Pressured by Hughes, Luke. Man, just looking to shield it and did it well, did Braden Mann. He's charging through the middle now. Lovely through ball just at the back of the feet of Wicks there. And big Grunwald out, looking to make something happen for his team. He's not got too many presenting. In the end, he just lofted forward to no one. Got a host of options onto him, and now no one charging at Zykos, so he can just take his time. They'll lead the seconds up with a 1-0 lead. No pressure on them to get things moving. Zykos down the middle in the Fisher direction. Jaden Hay away from him. Andrews, I thought, just got Muller's back, but he's allowed to get away with it. And can he take full advantage? He chips it over the top for Fisher. Will he get there first? He does! And he puts it just over the top. He was cleaned up after he got rid of it. But he put it just over the bar. It was a beautiful ball. A great run. Puts it over the top. Keeper absolutely collecting him afterwards.
It's a lovely through ball there from Andrews, who probably shouldn't have been able to get in that position, as well, there was certainly a foul on Muller. Great hustle from Tyler Fisher getting there first, and almost expect him to finish from that position, as we see Mercury find the head of that man Hughes-Luke. Good clearance from Warren up. Again to Andrews. Man.
Lovely.
Got Bidwell out wide, and I think that's going to be a goal kick. Last touch off the marauding fullback, and it was. We'll tick over to 60 minutes. There's plenty of yelling coming from the Zebras sideline, but not a lot of action from the players on the field. You see Grunwald leisurely touch to Muller. Lays it out wide to Warren up. And four options for Hobart Zebras, all making the same run behind the defensive line, not one offering short. And Grunwald goes for the slide tackle from behind on Wicks. Quite agricultural. Referee's wanting to give him a talking to.
Geez, I'd give him a cheese for the obstinacy.
Yeah, I would too, and that's the first slice of cheese for today. It's probably his third or fourth foul, Grunwald, and it was fairly agricultural, and then not listening to the referee when he says come here is usually a cheddar in itself.
No, sensible stuff from the referee there. He tried to give him a chance to have a bit of a chat, but when that doesn't happen, you might as well slap him with the cheddar.
Yeah, that's why you've got him there in your pocket. As we see Reynolds again looking for a good delivery. See,
like the look of Andrews here.
Yeah, Fisherman and Andrews all closely together at the far post. It's in that direction, but nice clearance header from Jaden Hay. And Griffin just plenty of spin on it. It's going to be kept in from pace, and it's a foot race down this near side. Millington just comes across. Cuddles pace out way. Griffin goes sliding in from behind. I mean, he did get the ball there, Griffin, but there was a bit of player, and it was from behind. So another cheddar for Griffin. Not sure if it's quite in the age cheddar section. I'd like to see the replay of that one.
Yeah, I just had a big view of the post right there. I'd love to have another look at this one because the locals are not too happy about it. Here we go. Jumps in, and that is just clearly a cheese.
Yeah, that's...
You can't tackle like this in the modern game.
No. Look, in 1985, that is a wonderful challenge, but you cannot go with one leg studs raised in the air through the back of someone, whether you get 100% of the ball or not. So, really obvious cheddar there. Mind you, there wasn't too many complaints from Griffin, actually. It was mainly the Bents.
The big Dwayne pie barking up down there as this one's locked out of there. He's an angry man, the Dwayne Pipe. I think he'd like to be out there himself. Bit of a frustrated figure down there.
I think he's kicking every ball down there. And also, a bit of an interesting bear hug challenge from Millington earlier as well, as we see that scrappy contest lead to a goal kick. And Millington did pretty much put two arms around Pace and throw him out of the way.
Just showing a bit of a love right there, I would say. Not too much in it.
So the Zebras need a spark here with 25 minutes to go. They started the second half pretty well. They created a few chances, but really, the last 15 minutes, they've not looked like it. They've looked a little bit lethargic, if anything, as Andrews was in a bit of a Zebra sandwich here. And gets the free kick, which is just going to add to the Zebras' frustration, which I don't think is helping things for them out there.
No, I certainly think they're cutting rather frustrated figures out there.
Clear decision, though. Warren, Sanders even quite late on him. And Rona Man looks to switch the play. Sends it to the far side there for Bidwell, who tries to keep it in, but in vain. And spills out of play there.
I certainly think the Zebras have got to bring one of their two remaining outfield players off the bench in Ackley or Kadisha. Both players who've featured a fair bit in the last couple of weeks, particularly off the bench since Saville's departure. And as soon as I say that, I think Ackley's getting some instructions from Tommy Fotak down on the sideline as we speak. Back to the field of play, and Will Holden just with a bit of a loose touch. Out to Warren up. Cut out well from Bidwell, and we see Mann charging through, finds Fisher, looks for the return ball, and it's a crucial intercept from Jaden Hay. It's Grunwald. Griffin looking to play forward at all possible, and eventually finds Warrener in plenty of space. Got Hugh Sloot on the wing. So it's Sanders on the wing, now Hugh Sloot. Back to Warren up. Looking inside. No luck there. Falls straight to Braden Mann. He's got a 2v2 up front. Into the pace of Tyler Fisher versus Jaden Hay. Let's see what happens here. Looks to go inside, but good defence from Hay. Again, wins the throw in, so great defence from Jaden Hay from a rather promising position that Devonport had.
Just seeing that a lot from Devonport, aren't we? really willing to put in that ball over the top of the defence and let their pace really do its work. And you have to say it's worked absolute wonders for them today, especially given the lack of forward threat that we've seen from the Zebras.
Certainly agreeing. The biggest applause of the day so far, probably a little sarcastic one from Zebras as they finally won a free kick.
It's been a rather muted crowd here today. Not a lot to cheer out, but
It's just a pity, really. I really, really wish that Looky Hoogsley shot had just crept in under the bar in that first half, because we could really have a game on our hands here at the moment. But it seems like Devonport are pretty comfortable to control it at this point. Keep playing those long balls in and look to the pace of Fisher, Wicks in behind. So we're just seeing Turtle Holden at the moment try and jink into a dangerous position. Tries to give it to man, but doesn't really go anywhere. And Grunwald slides in against Andrews. It's played out wide to Bidwell. He's got players queuing up. Just kind of hacked away there by who I thought was Downs for a second, wearing the old number 10.
Yeah, that number 10's been using me a little today as well.
Just hacked away there from Brooks.
Big shoes to fill, that number 10 from Brooks.
Huge shoes.
So the throw-in taken off the Zebras player. Oh, no, not quite. It's there for a goal kick. Once again, my eyesight deceiving me, Jake Morgan. This is why you're the expert at that.
The poor touch there, I think, from Andrews it was. Didn't quite get onto it.
for Zebras, and they need some inspiration from somewhere because this is pretty flat stuff from them at the moment. They're not looking like troubling them at the moment. Sanders flicks on. Perhaps just hoping for a mistake. You're unlikely to see one from this fella though, Raf Reynolds. Out from the back, not. Heads on. Fisher out after this one. Griffin arriving back to help out, and Fisher just shielding him from it. The offside flag had already gone up though. As the angler had just strayed, and it's going to be a sub on the Devonport bench as well. I think Luca Argent might be the man being introduced for them, yes. He's going to come on for Harrison Wicks. So the substitute has been substituted. There's the indignity for Wicks. He's got to cop that one, the Celt hero.
Also seeing Gates come off now for James Ackley to try and get a bit up this right side as we see Pace switch over to the other side.
Didn't really have the impact it did in the first half, did he, Gates?
No,
he's gone out of the game. Started promisingly, but he's replaced now.
Had me shocked for a second there when Grunwald was coming over to take that free kick because, geez, I wouldn't have been happy if they'd have subbed him, that's for sure.
Can't be doing that. I think there's actually a rule against that.
Yeah, right.
If there isn't a right one, can't be subbing him. This one swung to the back post for the new man, Ackley. He heads it down.
The Grunwald rule,
Yeah.
I think.
I was going to expand it to all imports, given they don't get yellow cards, apparently.
You just got one a moment ago, Funty. What are you on about that? Ooh, arriving in late there with Sanders, just to put off Lindsay Millington. Spills out a plate.
It was Grunwald in the first half. That should have had a cheddar, wasn't it?
Reynolds, the other import.
Other import.
Straight through the back.
Which was a point that was not lost on the Zebras bench when he did get that yellow a few minutes ago. They might have just harked back to that one. It's not the way it works. Down the line, Griffin favoured by this, heads away. Millington again into the middle. Up against Holden. The new man Brooks was there, and eventually the Zebras work it back to Warriner. Turning inside his pace, showing plenty of that. Centres it to Brooks. Braden Man got in there and just broke up the play well. Only as far as the imperious Grunwald. He ran into trouble though, and had his pocket picked by Braden Mann. Sends it off out in front of Fisher. He's got no one in support here, so he's going to have to do it himself, and do that he does. He drives it. And again, Marcelo Mercury had his angles covered nicely.
Yeah, he knew exactly what was coming there. Marcelo Mercury knew it was going to be a left foot powerful shot, and it was, and he stood up well this time. And right at his head, but it's a good save nonetheless, as we see Sanders looking wide for pace. Unorthodox clearance there, and Ackley looks to get in. I think he's won his team a corner there. No, goal kick. Much to the chagrin of 2 or 3 people on the Zebras bench. The rather shrieking
Oh, can someone get the Dwayne Piper microphone? He'd be great value.
Oh, God, it certainly would be.
I'll go give him a tap on the shoulder if you want, boys.
Yeah.
We need you up here, Dwayne Pipe.
Oh, we just need an effects mic within 50 metres of him, I reckon. Pick him up.
No, there's a good 4 people in perfect unison with the screamed what.
A bit of sarcasm from the Devonport Strikers fans as well, saying I didn't hear that, I just heard down there. As we see Devonport playing it forward. And again, Fisher on the ball.
It's been the outlet all day, hasn't he? Just put it out in front of him. He's got the wheels to get there. And they just break on you so quickly, with Holden and Fisher in particular. Key to that.
Absolutely. You see Reynolds in absolutely no hurry to take this corner. Trotting over to the scoreboard end.
Yeah, pedestrian.
Yeah. Yeah, at best. More than at best. You see.
In no rush is Reynolds as he curls this one. Keeper just about deals with it with the 2 fists, but it'll fall to Tyler Fisher. The angler turning onto the left and chipping a beautiful ball with just eluded, man. Just a little bit heavy. I thought he was going to put it on a platter there for Braden man at the back post, but just kept rising.
It had an absolutely lovely shape on it, that cross. And look, I mean, I don't think Peter Crouch would have got to that one, let alone Braden Mann, but it was a lovely looking ball.
Well, Crouchy would have got there.
He would have found a way.
It would have been a bicycle effort from Crouchy, I suspect, but he'd have got there.
Very athletic player.
Yeah. Graceful player.
Good touch for a big man as we see Mercury lump that one forward. Collision there between Pace and Sanders, and eventually Andrews ends up with it. Waiting for that overlapping run, instead plays it to Holden. Probably looks to go back inside and does. Fisher again. Eventually out wide. Free header at the back post from that new man.
Luca Argent sneaking on, nearly making an immediate impact.
Yeah, certainly snuck in.
Really well directed header, wasn't it? But just a pity he couldn't arrive with a bit more pace and get the power behind it.
Yeah,
It was into a good spot. We're just seeing pace take on Bidwell with pace, but just flicked off the toe of Bidwell, I think, and it will earn the Zebras a corner, especially judging by the way that Pace is going after the ball.
I think it's going to be a throw-in still. I don't had plenty of spin on it.
Oh, my mistake, sorry.
But we finally see a Jaden Hay long throw. He's marched up from centre back and said, Muller, you're getting back there. I'm launching this one. It's only taken 75 minutes before the long throw expert has got on it. A few shakes. Launches that one in. Probably a bit too much top spin, actually.
Did not get onto it.
No,
Take 2.
He'll have another opportunity. That was just a warm-up.
He'll steal 5 metres here.
Yep.
And then have another crack at it. And that's exactly what you want.
Yeah, I would have kept running over the other side of the fence there a bit more. Actually plays it short to Pace. Now got time to cross it in, does Hay. But pretty wasteful. It's ended up on the banking. Where a few people have actually decided to have a bit of a sunbake while watching the match this afternoon. Very rare for a June in Hobart. Who says it rains here all the time?
More the wind that's the problem down here.
And a beautiful day for football. The Strikers are 15 minutes away from heading back up the highway in very good spirits. And not too far away from maintaining a top spot on the table, putting the pressure back on South Hobart. And they take on this evening. As this one swings out of play.
Seemed unimpressed with that, Mr. Morgan.
Oh, pressure. Is the word that I was questioning.
When they get the job done, Wentworth Park hasn't been particularly happy hunting ground for them in recent times. Kind of a narrow victories. They've got the job done. They'll be looking to do that again tonight. Keep up their pursuit of these Strikers. They look like they're going to start off a pretty difficult stretch of their season with a victory. Got the Zebras and the Warriors both twice in South Hobart as well in the space of 7 weeks. So we're about to find out just how real of a deal they are. So far so good today. Warren up dealing with Bidwell. And just escorts that one out of play nicely. As the Zebras fullback.
Copped a flag to the face then, Bidwell for his trouble as well as having to give up the goal kick.
A little bit of limbo there from the linesman.
See Grunwald on the ball. 15 minutes to do something here, Zebras. Let's see what they can do. It's launched in the direction of Sanders, but Reynolds will pick that one out rather easily. In the middle to Muller. Down to Ackley. It's inside. Hands it back to not Chris Downs. And
Ackley about 18, is he?
he wouldn't be too much more than that. I'm not entirely sure.
Looks like he's wearing a poncho.
It's the only shirt they had left in the Zebras locker room. Who knows? We should tuck it in as it's like it meant to, but
I have to say though, out here on this left-hand side, we've been seeing a really good game from Warrener on that left-hand side too. And the combination of him and Gates were giving Bidwell all kinds of problems throughout this game. But Warrener has certainly remained solid throughout, despite Gates fading out of it. And we're just seeing Braden Mann get onto the ball here, out on the left-hand side. He squares it up to Turtle Holden. Big, fresh, airy. And Devonport just looked to control it rather than belting off another shot, but it's well intercepted by Pace here. Looks outside to Hoogsloot. He's got 3 to deal with. And doesn't he deal with it well? Gets it up, looks across to Brooks, back to Grunwald, and they win the free kick. Take it quickly here, the Zebras. So Colonel Sanders looks out wide to Geordie Muller. Brings it back in. Looks forward to Brooks, who has Ackley out wide in a little bit of space with Griffin on the overlap, but he goes himself, Ackley, and yeah, just a pretty disappointing, somewhat selfish shot there, you have to say.
Plenty of time out there. It was good to find him, and he's got Sanders running inside. The disappointment from Sanders is obvious as we look at the replay. 10 minutes to go in this match, and Zebras have really got out of second gear, to be honest. Certainly need to find something going forward if they're to get anything at all from this match. See Zykos launch this one long. Braden Mann looking for the foul, but given against him for backing in to Cal Griffin.
He did
gain about 10 metres.
I'm going to throw away that metaphor, actually.
Well, but that battle started on halfway, and he's backed all the way back about 10 yards.
There he is there, man. There's certainly some hands as this one swung in and dealt with by Zykos, only as far as Ackley, who blazes over the top. And the Zebras, well, their finishing has left a lot to be desired today. That's the latest example of it. They've had the chances to get something out of this one. Zykos not dealing with it all too convincingly. He was out of the picture here. He blazed over the top. It was a difficult chance for Ackley. It was high. There were bodies in the way, but it's been the story of the day for the Zebs. They've had no composure in front of goal.
No, that's it. I mean, it was quite a good spot, but it really didn't come down for Ackley, that chance. You'd just hope that do a little bit more to keep that one down, but they're certainly starting to threaten a little bit more as we come into the last 10 minutes of the game here, the Zebras. So every chance that they can at least snatch an equaliser here from Devonport.
Yeah, that was a little rush from Ackley, but on the replay it did not sit well for him really at all. We see it back to Grunwald, back to Hayes, pressured, forced to just thump it clear in the direction of Sanders. Reynolds contests that well, but Sanders ends up with it. Back to Muller, who has the ball to no one really in particular. Griffin all over the back of Braden Mann there. Careful, Griffin. He's on a yellow card, remember?
Yes.
Yes. He's the other cheese recipient of the day so far.
Yeah, you'd certainly say it would pretty much be curtains for the Zebras if they lost a player here today. Just looking to whip it in now, Braden Mann.
First call of time wasting from the crowd there. Devonport in no hurry to take this, as we see Bidwell look to cross it in, but just fires off the man in front. Andrews claims it. Looks to try and beat Brooks. Good harassing defence there from the new man. Eventually, Grunwald picks it out. Storms forward Beckenbauer style. Eventually gets there to Pace. Devoid of options, really. And I think they've given that as a foul on pace.
There's not a lot of energy out there from the Zebras.
It really
They're
isn't.
chasing the game, is there? No one really making those bursting runs. Grunwald taking it upon himself just to carry it out of defence, but there's been a big gap between the front line and the defence today, and despite Downs not being here, they're definitely better served to get the free kick than the advantage here. So there just wasn't a lot of options, and Geordie Muller has the chance to send something in. Again, looks to put the keeper under pressure. Again, claws it away. Behind this time for a corner, but good delivery from Jordan Muller. Just putting in that awkward zone for a goalkeeper. And his own man getting in the way there. And eventually dealt with it, but
Hasn't
a
looked
chance for the
too
Colonel.
confident today, old Zykos, has he?
Yeah, they've tested him a few times with those dangerous balls in there, and he's just about dealt with us. This one goes to Grunwald, who couldn't make sufficient contact, and it goes behind for a goal kick. That wasn't far away.
It was at a very nice height, and what a beautiful corner it is, and almost a free header there, really, you have to say, from Nicholas Grunwald. And you'd have to say, if you keep missing chances like that, there'll be no way back for the Zebras here today.
I don't want to be too harsh, but that is an absolute gilt-edge opportunity for Grunwald. There's not too many other players on the park I'd want in that situation. He got a run up to it, lovely leap, right in his head. Just glanced off it though, and probably actually one of the better chances for Zebras the entire match, really, as well as when Huxley hit the bar.
Yep, you'd have to say that that is probably the most open chance that they've had.
Knocking on the door here, Zebras. Devonport just holding on, looking to grind out a second 1-0 victory as we Weeks, and here's a chance at the back for pace. Oh, Dom Smith did ever so well. Just got a foot in and saw it away from him. Looked like it was about to all fall apart at the back there for the Strikers. Now they go up the other end, and Braden, man, can't quite reach that.
How does he do that? He finds that extra metre right after that ball's played. He's behind the defenders, and then all of a sudden he's just through you there, Braden, man. Typical lung-busting run from the man.
Wouldn't sit for him, but that's what they do so well. They turn defence into attack in the blink of an eye.
Instant, yeah.
Man, Fisher, Holden, they just burst away and break so quickly. It's very tough. Look, the hit in the transition, long throw to the near post. Cal Griffin was there though. The Strikers will pick it back up through Turtle Holden. He goes back to Millington. All the way back to his keeper. Now Zebras look to press up a bit. Zykos thumps it over the top. Warren up, who's had a good game, will deal with this. And goes back to his keeper. So inside the final 5 minutes now for the Zebras. Can they find an equaliser? Or will the defending champions maintain top spot with a second 1-0 in a row, which they do say is the mark of a champion team, being able to grind out those results, boys?
I thought that after once we heard the result of last week's, only knocking over Lonnie City in the 87th minute, but in a very resolute defensive display from Devonport here today, and they haven't really had any need to play a more open and expansive game. Zebras, as we've alluded to, have just been a bit flat.
How often have you heard that refrain, 1-0 to the Devonport?
It's something they've had to work hard for the last couple of weeks, these results. But as I said, their schedule is about to get very, very tough. This was the first hurdle. And looking like they're going to get over the top of it, although still time for Zebras as Griffin pounces on it. He sends it in the Sanders direction, but never going to pick him out with delivery like that. As Zykos says, thank you very much.
Real pity that Griffin went with that often, because Ackley was overlapping on the side closest to him.
He just didn't seem to want to push on Griffin in terms of getting out of his defensive position. I mean, if you're down with only 5 minutes to go, you just got to keep pushing on, and the ball gets turned over, it gets turned over. But as we see, Turtle Holden with the ball.
How good has Raph Reynolds been?
Oh.
We just see that one again, just nipping in front of Luke Hoogsloot.
Andrews,
Really good stuff.
Andrews with plenty of space to run into. Eventually finds man out wide. Got 1v1 with Griffin. Looks to jink onto his left foot, but good defence from Cal Griffin. Nice turn from Sanders. Hasn't really got anyone on that side to aim for, but eventually finds pace. Tries to touch inside, but Dom Smith knew what was coming.
Good strength shown there from Dom Smith.
Absolutely, and a miscommunication there, and Jaden Hale just head that back to the keeper. Ticking down with only 2 to 3 minutes to go. We'll see what the Zebras can do. Launched forward from Mercury to Hugh Sloot, who ends up down on one knee trying to header it.
Oh, Turtle hold
I
it.
think he's offside there, yeah. I wasn't getting as excited as everyone else.
He's going to get a slice of cheese for that, I reckon, Tyler Fisher. He's well aware the whistle had gone, and he stuck it in the back of the net, and he'll pick up a slice of cheddar for that one. It's probably not worth it on reflection.
No, probably not.
Perhaps just a little bit of frustration from a man who's had a couple of chances today and thought he was in.
Yeah, but he did have to take about 3 touches after the offside call in order to get in that position, so it's probably a fair call from the referee
Another 30
there.
seconds gone.
Yeah, you see Grunwald launch it forward, direction of Brooks, who flicks it onto Sanders, goes the back heel. It's a fairly obvious shirt tug there, not given. I'm very surprised at that one, as Hugh Sloot.
I would love to have another
I would love to have a look at a replay of that.
Oh boy, 3v2.
3v2 here. Jaden Hay and Grunwald, the only ones back. Man inside for Holden.
Yeah.
Finds him. He's got time and
He's gonna
space.
bury
Great
it.
man. Looks to the far corner. Kills it. Just wide though. He was looking for bend it in that far corner and just ended up going straight. But we have a look at this again. You see him pushing in there. I mean, that's a bit of a shirt pull from Devonport. I'm not sure what you think there, Jake.
I don't think that he's really looking at the player to try and get a tug, and I think the player's probably made the most of it, so probably a pretty sensible decision there from the referee to let it go. But wasn't it a brilliant counter there from Turtle Holden and Braden Mann to, I think it was the 3-on-3 with Fisher out the other side too, and the way that Holden and Mann were just on the same wavelength there just really created a beautiful chance that Mann couldn't quite take.
Yeah,
Really would have wrapped it up.
I agree with you there, Jake, but I mean, I've seen penalties given for less than that.
They'd be almost very stiff to
Yeah,
have it 1-1 at this stage of the game, Devonport.
especially on the balance of play. You see Griffin moving much inside, away from his right back position, and that's where Braden Mann finds himself now. Surely he's got to look inside, and does. We've got Warrener to beat. It's a foot race down this
Well
side between
done,
Fisher and
Warrener.
Warrener. Oh, he ends up just shielding nicely, and Mercury.
Wish Mercury had almost come at that with a bit more pace.
Yeah.
To be honest, you felt like he could have done, but really well done from Warrener out that side then to shepherd Fisher away from the goal as we see Ackley try and get onto it for the Zebras, but Zykos more than comfortable to let that go for the goal kick, and another 30 seconds off the clock if he can take it here.
I certainly think he'll be doing that. It's Zebras pushing everyone forward. I noticed Grunwald stayed forward after that, leaving only Warrener and Hay at the back. It won't be too bad a move. I mean, they've really got nothing to lose if they concede another goal. They might as well push everyone forward in this last couple of minutes. You see Zykos pump it forward in direction of Mann, but over his head. And Jaden Hay should look to launch this one forward, gains that extra 5 yards into Sanders, who looks for the spectacular Hugh Sloot running in, but Zykos out to collect.
And the totally necessary hitting of the deck there, as is custom for goalkeepers.
They love it, don't they? I think that they'd just replay highlights reels of themselves doing that at the end of their career. They go, yep, beautiful down to the deck there, mate, beautiful.
It's a real art form for some. As we tick towards the conclusion of this one. Braden Mann tears off towards the corner flag. There's only one thing on his mind. Right down in front of the scoreboard, but he's just let it elude him there. So the Zebras will get it back. But as soon as he picked that ball up, he had one thing on his mind. Perhaps was a bit too eager to get there and was arriving at full pace.
Yeah, there's no need to go there at full pace, especially Devonport taking every time wasting opportunity, and that's it.
Well, it matters not. The Hobart Zebras don't get one last roll of dice. The Devonports Strikers maintain top spot with a second consecutive 1-0 victory. It was a goal to Turtle Holden in the first half, and from there they grounded out. It was the most spectacular of displays from either side, really. But Devonport won't care. They've got 3 points to take back up the highway, and they have got top spot on the table for at least a couple of weeks as we head into the Lacquer Cup final. And next weekend, they'll have a couple of weeks to prepare for their next match, which is going to be a huge one against the Olympia Warriors at Warrior Park. We'll be bringing that one to you. Plenty of water to go into the bridge before that, especially for those Warriors with the big cup final. It's the story of the day is Devonport 1, Zebras 0. Some final thoughts, gentlemen.
Yeah, I have to say that I just loved Raph Reynolds' game today. His set-piece delivery was pretty solid, but more than that, he pretty much took Luke Hoeksloot right out of the game, who is one of the most dangerous players in this league, you have to say. So really imperious performance from Reynolds, and Tyler Fisher really got him behind well in those zebra lines too, really carrying a threat along with Wicks after the King of Devonport went down, and Braden Mann, his usual clinical self. But the goal to Turtle Holden too, really marvellous all-round performance from the Strikers.
As we were still halfway through talking there, but anyway,
The
we've got the
Oscars.
Doof.
The
The
Doof
Oscars.
and out.
Oscars, we are
The
gone.
Oscars acceptance speech. Ash has had enough of our rubbish. They'll be back next week. Next Friday night will be our next live stream at South Hobart and Olympia and the under-20s statewide cup final before a massive Monday with the Lacquer Celtic Cup final and women's statewide cup final. Do join us then. Until that day, it's bye for now.
Oscars.